Alright guys, check it out. It's one of the most common medicinal plants in the United States and one of the most useful. It's called yarrow. So this plant was named after Achilles because the scientific name is called Achillea millifolia. So Achillea is named after Achilles because it was rumored that Achilles used this plant on the battlefield to stop bleeding, and that's one of the main medicinal uses of this plant, to stop bleeding. And then millifolia. Milla means thousand and folia means leaf. So millifolia means thousand leaf because of all this little fern-like appearance that you have in the leaf. And so to identify this plant, you have this almost kind of fern type leaf, and then you have these white flower clusters. So it's in the aster family, which means each one of these tiny little flowers here, if you look very close, you probably won't even be able to see it on camera, but it's actually a bunch of tiny, itty bitty little flowers. And then the bigger petals come off of the tiny little flowers. So that's how to identify it. And it can look similar to members of the carrot family, even though it's in the aster family. So we'll look at this here real quick, and we'll notice that in the carrot family, all of these little stems will come out of the same point. But in this, they all come out scattered, kind of different, alternating, and so that separates it from similar looking members of the carrot family. And now this plant we can use medicinally in a number of different ways. So it's a diaphoretic, which means it induces sweating. It also dilates the blood vessels. So traditionally this plant has been used as a cleansing herb, and it's also antimicrobial, which means that it's like, like antibacterial pretty much. And so it's been used very effectively to treat urinary tract infections, and like I said, to stop bleeding. So there's been times, this maybe grows probably in all 50 states. I've seen this plant growing in northern Arizona. I think I've seen it growing in Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma, pretty much everywhere I've been, Missouri. So this plant grows east United States, west United States, all over. And so to stop bleeding, what I've actually done is I've been sawing before, out just kind of doing bushcraft and stuff, and I'll slice my finger wide open, and then oftentimes, if you're in Oklahoma, this stuff grows like a weed, and so this will be everywhere. So I went and grabbed a leaf, and just kind of stripped it off, crumbled it all in between your fingers, and then you simply put it on your finger to stop bleeding. And it can be used similar to the way the military uses quick clot. Quick clot's like this stuff I've never actually had to open it, but I'm assuming it's like a powder that you basically put onto your wounds to stop it from bleeding. And so this can be used the same way. And it has a number of other medicinal uses. I know some people use it for toothaches and bruises and stuff like that. So look online. Pretty much every book on herbal medicine talks a little bit about yarrow, Achillea millifolia. And you can also use this plant as a food. Although as a food, it's bitter. It's definitely really bitter. So it's more of a spice, and you wouldn't want to use it in large amounts because any plant that's medicinal, typically don't want to eat very large amounts of it. So to do that, you can use the leaves or the flowers. The young leaves, they say, are best. I stay away from the leaves because I think they're pretty bitter, but I've used the flowers. So you would maybe just get one whole flower head like this, and a little bit goes a long way. And so you get a little flower head, you dry the whole thing out, then you'd pick off all the flowers, separated from the stem, where you just have a bunch of little flowers, and you can make a tea with it. So you'd only use maybe like double that, or maybe a little bit more. It's pretty strong stuff. And then you use it to seasoning, and it has sort of a smell of like maybe an Italian type, maybe something you'd put in spaghetti. I'm not really a cook, but it's kind of bitter. I put it in my eggs in the morning. So you would either use the flowers whole, or preferably maybe ground it up, because they can be pretty bitter. So grind it up, kind of spread it out a little bit, use sparingly, and it's a nice bitter, but not unacceptably bitter, so it still tastes pretty good. Little seasoning. And you need to know this plant because it probably is growing near you right now as we speak, and it's a super potent, powerful medicinal herb for lots of different things. So go check out yarrow. Good for healing cuts and making you feel good and stay cleansed. So follow Legacy Wilderness Academy for more plant stuff like this and other bushcraft survival and preparedness videos. Thanks.